We lost the team because of me.
No. It was because of me.
No, I insist I take the blame.
Well, I insist you return the blame and give it to me.
Look, it wasn't you. It wasn't.
Oh, Ice Age. Ice Age, Ice Age, Ice Age. You're like a reanimated fossil, 20 years old and yet still moving, deformed more and more each year. Ice Age has an interesting story, since it's somehow been keeping along with us all through the years. Always following, like it's in the back of our minds. But as more films released, it felt like its cultural relevance disappeared more and more with each installment. And now, even with the initial studio dead, it's been revived and puppeted around when Disney themselves got their hands on the IP. Bringing us round to last year in 2022, when they came out with Ice Age Buck Wild. Another film I didn't have access to in the UK when everyone else did, so here I am a year later. So you've got the super success of the simple original, the great follow-up to expand out the family, the strange third one that is an acceptable expansion with dinosaurs considering the ancient period. Then it walked into a rival story where somehow no one's actually gone extinct from the melting ice caps still yet. Then they proper jumped the shark by taking Scrat to space or something. And for number 6, we've looped back round to the third movie. What? I guess it makes sense for going back to simpler times. But this feels more like desperately clawing to nostalgia than a legitimate experience.
Everything changes. Does it though? I get the feeling that it kind of doesn't. I feel like we've been rehashing these same moments again and again and again, and it's just always the same, you know? You know. Have some self-awareness. And so for the first 3 minutes of the movie, we just have an outright nostalgia gush of the previous 5 films displayed as cave drawings. And lately it seems like my brothers are getting a little restless.
And like a storybook prologue, that's our inkling to actually start telling the story, as we see Crash and Eddie the Possum twins scaling the side of a glacier.
What if we move out and get our own place? Ooh!
Oh no, they're ugly. How do they somewhat look bolder? So yes, this is the version of Crash and Eddie we're just gonna have to get used to looking at, cause graphic upgrades don't necessarily mean improvements. This is a spin-off product, so the animation has that weird, cheap feeling that doesn't rival what kids' content usually looks like in this day and age. Apparently handled by Bardell Entertainment, same guys behind Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Eee. Anyway, we'll touch on the production mayhem later down the line. Whatever the case, you can pick up the story from the 2 lines we've played so far.
I'm a cold guy on a mountaintop. Yeah, young Bill making his drop.
I already regret visiting this movie and it's been 4 minutes. So as the opossums do some cringe things, imagining a world as bachelors, they're beckoned down the mountain, doing so in more forced nostalgic fashion.
Okay, so where is Buck as the protagonist of this movie anyway?
Yeah, so this is going to be a thing. This is called Buck Wild because it's meant to be all about Buck from the underworld. And to be fair, they did manage to drag back Simon Pegg for this role, but you're going to see there's an awful lot of Crash and Eddie involved. This project was originally a TV series based just on Buck back in 2018, but warped into a movie over the years and post-studio collapse. And the result is this.
So that's why I've always thought that good hygiene is overrated.
That's not Sid. John Leguizamo didn't return for this movie, and it is awful. But to be fair, some other actors weren't back either, like Ray Romano, Dennis Leary, Queen Latifah, Sean William Scott, and Josh Peck. Wait, Josh Peck was an Ice Age character? Ah, he was Eddie. Wait, Eddie as in the non-protagonist of this movie as a whole? And also literally everyone in the main cast is replaced? And wasn't there a child mammoth in the mix? Where is Peaches? Just missing in this reality? Jeez, 6 minutes in and you can see this was a production nightmare. And so the Possum Boys are scolded for their misbehavior and stupid desires to leave, and they retort with,
We do things that matter. Like this.
This movie isn't pushing any boundaries. It's simple for stupid's sake and is just cheap, easy content. To think this is how Disney imagines the Ice Age universe. How insulting. So now the non-possum family debate about it all that night with all the same bland dialogue you would come to expect. Except for Diego for some reason. His voice actor was on holiday or something. All you need to gather from this scene is...
Well, family can be difficult.
Thanks, Trey Treymando. Your impression of Ray Romano is almost there. And now the movie just outright redos Ellie's flashback scene from Ice Age 2. Shot for shot, this is the same sequence from before in a whole new sheen. A spin-off doesn't always have to repeat beats from prior films shot to shot, so this is an intentional stab at nostalgia bait. You could just picture Disney dangling the Ice Age IP at you like,
Hello, remember this? What a great time me and you had. Remember the good old days, how we had in 2006 or something?
that wasn't with you, Disney.
Alright, who said that? Come here, punk, I'm gonna sue you to the next generation.
But still, they expand the Ellie, Eddie, and Crash flashback with some more moments with Mother Possum. You know, like with that joke they already did in their first movie appearance. And after a brief moment about the Possum Mum's funeral, Ellie is still holding on to the remnants of the family she has, and will quickly forget it for the rest of the movie as Eddie and Crash begin their adventure solo. The flashback was just for brownie points. And the next morning, the group are immediately on the task of trying to find them.
Destiny awaits!
You know, I'm not even sure if that was clear to see. Your eyes are too busy looking into the distant, interesting American football post tree to spot the tiny guys and their smoke cloud landing. Legit, this is awful storyboarding. But finally, it jumps us into action, back into the Dino underworld.
Snack time.
With an immediate introduction to our villain, it's a dinosaur. What a twist. And as his goons that don't speak in this animal kingdom chase the boys off of a cliff, finally we get...
I mean, technically it was a little different, it was at a lower key. I mean, look at this, look at this. Ugh. So like, yeah, it's basically the same. Essentially, it's how you remember it, right? Nostalgia.
And then they're immediately chased by a giant spider. They're glowing around the outlines for some random reason here. I guess the lighting simulation's a bit funky underground. And then it leads to another callback.
I remember this guy. He's allergic to possums.
And just like that, finally, 20 minutes in, we meet the guy the movie's meant to be named after. It's Buck magically appearing now. This underworld is small.
Hello, boys!
I don't know how big and expansive this underworld is meant to be, but catching the main guy you're after 30 seconds feels a little cheap. Ah well, it's an 80-minute movie anyway. Yes, we're a quarter way done already. Or not already enough.
Your ways are strange and mysterious, Buck. But mostly strange.
Ah, leave that odd dialogue for the video game version. Sounds like it'd be more fitting there. Now what follows next is an attempt of an action sequence that I think very swiftly showcases how milquetoast this whole movie has turned out to be. See, the Velociraptor goons hop onto Buck's pterodactyls. Freak out ensues. To which they slightly swing around in flight for a moment before... They then just react again the same way because the second one pops up, but like, we all saw there were two already. It's not like they were hidden or the characters should have missed them. There's barely any evasive maneuvers, just kind of going with the beats like it's phoning it in on a normal Tuesday.
Buck! Crack!
And then it's over. So what's Buck's tale this time? Ready to go wild and all that. After all, it's easy to forget, but this is supposed to be his movie.
A dino named Orson just escaped from exile, and he's jonesing to rule the lost world.
Oh, well, I was expecting that exposition to come out at least when they'd landed, at a more natural point when Buck's trying to deal with it, but sure, I guess we could just spill the beans immediately. More animation frames mean more costs. Chop chop!
Bit.
Yeah, that was worth the 15-second delay. Retract my statement about animation costs. No, but really, this type of joke is what you can expect for most of this movie, and it just doesn't hit right for some reason. It just kind of happens. The movie this time around is very much aimed for an even younger demographic, and maybe that's it? Or maybe you're just bouncing off of not the best characters with circumstances that just aren't that grand. feels more like a Sid joke, you know?
I'm the only one that can stop Orson, but I won't be able to do that if I have you two to look after.
But Buck rejects them too. He's got his own plans, and it doesn't involve these liabilities. Honestly, why are they here? This could easily be a Buck exclusive adventure. They couldn't even get the original VAs back. Plus, we skipped it before, but they've been rambling on expressions of everyone else in their family as explanation to why they're here. A lot of this is just skippable junk.
This boulder's not supposed to be here. How did it get here?
But the boys can't return because the only entranceway has been blocked. By who?
My brain is the one thing that's gonna get me my revenge.
This is our central villain of the film, the one dinosaur who can talk, hosting a gigantic brain. Full of insecurity, sure, but his voice?
Lost world for lost species. Dinos rule, mammals drool.
I mean, it just screams cheap TV villain. I'm not invested, I'm bored.
Time for a possum picnic. Oh!
And then Buck gets him out of there with a couple whip swishes and a cliff dive. Come on, at least show us some more interesting action sequence. Why are we even trying? And Orson is left disgruntled.
No one outsmarts Orson! Ah! Oh my jeez!
This sounds like a cringy fanfic dubbing. Believe it or not, this is the halfway mark. Subscribe if you're up for more terrible movies, and one day on the channel we'll stream the PS5 Scrat-Tail games. Though IRL, I'm actually going to be away for family reasons, but I'm open for suggestions stream-wise or for videos over on our Discord server. Check out it since you're invested this far in. And so I guess the boys are with Buck. Though forget the plot, it's all about the micro gags in this movie, like their mode of transportation. Kids absolutely everywhere guffawing at that one. Until they're at Buck's home, a bachelor den not too dissimilar from what they wanted. Being roommates would be the perfect lifestyle for them. But Buck chooses to ride solo. But they can't help with Orson.
Up top!
See, again, I feel like the storyboard is missing the mark, because is anyone paying attention to the tiny fruit falling off at the side of the table when your eye line is directed to the action at the top of the frame? This is Disney quality? I know my eyes are half falling asleep, but I can't follow shot for shot. Meanwhile, the family up top are still searching for the possums.
Hey, Uber tracker, you picked up that scent yet?
Uber says that delivery was meant to be 10 minutes ago, but I'll be honest, I can't smell any nearby Domino's pizza at all yet.
But it goes nowhere. Time to learn of the crux of the original Buck TV series idea. He used to have a team. A collective built on maintaining harmony around a specific watering hole. So what, they were lifeguards?
Well, I wouldn't use the term superhero. I mean, I wouldn't stop you from using it. Anyway.
Oh, of course. It's just keeping up with the latest movie trend. Gotta have them everywhere. Thanks, Disney. Can always count on you for originality.
He didn't believe in harmony. He believed in a world where the strong dominate the weak.
And alongside your basicest of basic evil plot lines, the film goes out of its way to delay things, like this joke about Eddie having a marshmallow in his ear first. Not even remotely smart or funny writing. And so we learn that most of the team died. The ugly ones. How very Disney. And then continuing the expositional flashbacks, Orson was banished to Lava Island.
And not the nice one.
This is about as funny as the jokes get. Poor Sean Pegg is doing his best, but...
Ooh.
Cheap stock sound effects are kinda just the vibe of this whole movie. By the way, it's Fire that had Orson escape and gain a couple mindless goons. And now they're in the house. That was quick and easy. Eddie and Crash naturally unaware at the last possible moment, choosing to smash up the place in obliviousness. And they're only saved by... Oh no. Yup, that's exactly what you think it is. This is Z, our new skunk buddy. Well, Zorilla, technically. Her whole shtick is stinking the place up as a form of attack. And boy, will she be doing it a lot.
Looking for this?
And so now they venture out together. I thought it was nighttime or something, but I guess not? House time was just break time? Either way, the plot is moving forwards, with the possums bumbling in the background as the new duo ramble on and on about what's at stake.
And because then it will be the lost world, which is both sad and confusing.
The lost world will be, well, lost.
Yes, okay, we get it. Can we please stop pausing to just pad out for some crappy jokes, please, movie? This is probably the most self-aware joke I've ever made as a green screen gag.
So, skipping that scene, as well as the one where Orson complains about the dimensions of a wood figurine and a copying dinosaur.
Don't you dare.
Eventually, Big Brain Dino comes up with a genius plan that he needs more than 2 minions. His intelligence knows no bounds, truly. Now we're at the watering hole as the raptors are making their way over. Again, that sure was quick, Orson. It literally took you 90 seconds to amass an army somehow. Unseen. Nope, still can't fly! And every good writer knows it's best when making a spin-off cash grab to just reuse jokes from your original movie. So everyone panics trying to escape as Buck jumps on each raptor head almost effortlessly.
It's time to get buck wild.
And that's the movie, folks. Hope you had a good time. God, I wish it was over. But no, Orson has his entire army here now, and Buck just hides behind a leaf. And now he's unfindable. We get more ramble padding like...
What does Z stand for?
Before coming right out of the bushes and onto a boat. Okay, this feels like improv. Where did Orson go? Where's the tension? Why a boat? Didn't they have pterodactyls before? Whatever. Also, it's very weird, this format. The possums, our main protagonists, aren't contributing anything. I know I was complaining that it was the other way before, but, like, they're just taking a back seat to their own movie. Why are they even here? Just to connect us to the core group of the franchise as a whole? It all feels odd. Anyway, boat scene now with more just content.
You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering why my butt's stuck to the seat.
Right. And then, in strict fashion, Z and Buck argue on the boat about past grievances, and as the original family very briefly have an emotive staring at the moon moment, they then immediately stop to do their annoying idiot routine.
We're doing it! High five!
Though I guess it's just a gag that never causes an issue since they still stay on course. I mean, they're on a river, so of course they did. Instead, collecting poisonous things overnight.
Should we not have adopted these cute pet lizards either?
That is hilarious. And thus, we're here. Retracing the heights of the third movie too, because what else is there? Oh, dental surgery. I certainly didn't have that on my bingo card. It is 1 minute long, and another excuse to whip out the old... And now the raptors are here. Do they also have a boat, or are they always narratively 30 seconds away? Mama T-Rex can't help here because she's in too much of a daze after being flash-banged back to consciousness. And everyone else is cornered up a pedestal. Time for the regretful goodbyes to immediately tie a knot on the argument earlier.
We lost the team because of me.
No. It was because of me.
No, I insist I take the blame.
Well, I insist you return the blame and give it to me.
Look, it wasn't you. It wasn't...
You've heard it all before. There is not a semblance of original writing in this entire piece. The format is absolute and basic, right down to the little details.
If we really want harmony in the Lost World, it has to start with you and me working together.
So, like, what was everything up to this point? Weren't you already throwing daggers to each other, using a mutually created boat, sticking together as a duo with the possums? Like, what are you saying here? What's changed? Literally nothing, like, logistically. So what's the move going forward?
Get Mama and the possums to safety.
Going it alone, literally tackling Orson solo, like the exact opposite of everything told by the words. I can't even with this movie. 3 brain cells is too much for this film.
I win!
Why isn't he eaten? Was that not the stakes before? What's the definition of survival in Survival of the Fittest, Orson? So the gang are just spiritually aware that Buck's not dead and being returned to the watering hole, so they too head in that direction. All the creatures of the Lost World cowering in fear against the tyrannical age of raptors.
Well, you can go back home now. I mean, you know, you don't need to stick around in a log forever. They literally walked past us. They're clearly going somewhere else, and it's all of them. What are you doing still moping around in a tree log for? They're literally gone. Why are you crying, mate? What's wrong with you? Just go outside. They're literally gone already. Stop crying, you baby.
But you know what's even less logical than a world upset by a single road trip?
This is all our fault, Eddie. Buck said it was a bad time for us to visit.
You guys have literally done nothing since being here. You didn't release Orson, you didn't distract Buck, you just showed up. In sync. Truly, you are both going to hell for your crimes. And as the sulking scene continues, we of course have the classic pep talk scene.
Is this what Buck would do? Give up?
But with an ending that is incredibly Ice Age Buck Wild, and by that I mean just padding after padding with nonsense that's just wasting everybody's time.
If we can harness the power of our spleens, we can master lightning!
So now it's training time for the surprise attack they're gonna do, learning how to spit berries with accuracy. Wow. Hey, you know who we haven't seen in almost an hour, the entire movie ago? The Core group.
Face it, guys. Crash and Eddie have gone bye-bye.
Those ding-dongs went back to the Lost World.
And that's it. That's the entire scene. Worth it. That was 30 seconds long. What a cameo. Oh, actually, maybe the scenes in general are just getting shorter as we spend 50 seconds on the gang witnessing the watering hole and debating on how big the raptors are or not. And then, back to the family. Man, this movie is just something else. It's not Ice Age, I can tell you that. They remove the blockade from the entrance of the entire thing and get Indiana Jones'd off of the bridge. Huh. Apparently, in the world of Buck Wild, downwards is the same as sideways. Now you're thinking with portals.
Huh?
Could they really not get Sid to revoice any lines to be remotely on pitch? Ice Age has never sounded worse. But they discover Mama T-Rex.
Dinner is served. Compliments of King Orson.
But why didn't you do this at any point sooner? But it's quickly dispelled by...
Oh!
It's surprise attack time.
Yeah! Hey-ya!
And I'm uncomfortable again. But as Buck is set off of a cliff now, forget the whole eating thing, he is of course saved, flinging the cage into a cliff for Z to be able to grab him. The surprise attack goes flawlessly because the movie has to end at some point.
How about we make it up as we go along?
Now that's what I call a plan.
Was that not what they've been doing this entire time anyway, when they were totally not working together already? This movie is a train wreck. Raptors are punchable now, possums have infinite pellets, and the family have arrived to witness too. And with every raptor now just one hit away from being taken out, Buck can reach Orson as the others join in the fight too. And only Sid has any real troubles.
Nailed it!
Was that meant to be a dramatic moment? Where's the sound design? There's a soundtrack, I know, but it's just the main theme playing on repeat like it's been doing this entire movie. Boy. And now they're finally cornered again as they run out of berries.
Remember what Z said? The answer is in our chest fur!
Oh, that's the climax. That one gag that never got a second establishment like the rulebook of callbacks demands. That solves everything. And as the possums play dead post-distraction, now all the raptors play dead too. And everybody's happy.
Looks like you've been outsmarted.
Feels more like outdumbed if you ask me. And just like that, Orson is batted away to...
Hey, please don't eat me. You're depriving the world of a great genius. I'm full of tiny bones that'll get stuck in your throat.
Wow. So the residents aren't even the ones who beat him up? It's the raptors, despite clearly not actually having a desire to eat. And also, Orson still has those flint fingernails that can put them under his command at any moment. A real solid comeuppance there, with a delivery that clearly screams, I am being chased to death and am desperate in my final moments. Right? You can hear that in the performance, can't you? Or does it feel more like another milquetoast piece of this incredibly bland movie? And with our happy ending, the possums reunite with Ellie, extrapolate all emotional intelligence that they have done nothing to warrant having this perspective, considering they didn't even talk about Ellie this entire time.
You didn't think we could take care of ourselves.
With good reason. And you worried about us.
Because you really care about us.
And everyone is sorry. But they leave anyway.
We're staying!
And that was Buck Wild. All about
I'm not sure. Family, but independence. Working together, but then going solo. Where in the timeline is this? Where was Peaches? Was there an original good joke? How did this last 80 minutes? And why did I waste all of my time on it? Ice Age has long been buried and reanimated as an acorn shell of what it once was. Disney spitting on its grave with an installment that could not be more soulless, unfunny, illogical, and boring. And perhaps the worst crime of all, throughout the entire runtime, there was not even an iota of the franchise's secret star, Scrat, making an appearance at all. And for that alone, that was the terrible Ice Age Buck Wild. For now, my name's been Dazz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.